Okay, we're going to get started. I'd like to welcome everyone to a regular meeting of the Borough Town Board for December 14th, 2021. And ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Hogan.
Here.
Councilmember Noonan.
Here.
Councilmember Van Tassel.
Here.
Supervisor Customary.
Here. Thank you. And ask that everyone please rise for a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of
the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, everyone. Item 1 on the agenda is the customary approval of minutes. We have 3 sets. November 23rd, which is the audit meeting for that month. Also on that date, we had the regular town board meeting, and then we have the town board workshop with the water department for December 1st. I think everybody was present for all 3.
Motion to approve.
So second. All in favor?
Yeah.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 2 on the agenda this evening is the COVID-19 update. Since it's making its way around New York State, I thought I would report on the health commissioner's determination, essentially requiring all spaces, individuals in those spaces to have either be masked or have a program in place that verifies everyone has been vaccinated. There are penalties established for $1,000 per occurrence, requires enforcement by the localities, and this came out on Friday, last Friday, and it is regulation 10 NYCR 2.60 that was promulgated on December 10th, 2021. After review of the directive, the mandate from New York State, I, in consultation with my colleagues, the Commissioner of Public Health for the county, County Sheriff Zerlo, and other key department heads, we decided that we are not going to adhere to this mandate. Many reasons for that. I issued a press release yesterday afternoon saying that Saratoga County would not be enforcing the mask mandate. Primary reason for that is that Saratoga County has been working diligently for this entire year, starting on January 6th, when I was sworn in as chairman of the board. I committed to make our response to COVID-19 the county's top priority. We have done that. We have provided the necessary resources to the health department and other departments to make sure our residents were able to be vaccinated if they so chose to do so. What this mandate does, it takes away valuable time and resources away from the county's effort to provide those vaccinations. I can tell you that, from the county's perspective, this is a misguided mandate that Saratoga County simply doesn't have the staff or the resources to enforce the mandate. We would take valuable staff that are working every day to vaccinate either at the public health building or to provide boosters to our residents, and redirect our efforts to ensuring that masks are worn. We don't think that's a good use of our limited resources. This is not an anti-mask stance by any means on the part of the county. As a matter of fact, the county continues to recommend that everyone follows CDC guidelines. We continue to do that. However, we are not going to enforce the mandate. We already know that businesses are struggling. They have supply chain issues. They can't find the necessary help. We're coming into we're within the 10 days before Christmas, and the timing on this could not be more detrimental to our small businesses, which are the backbone of our local economy. So with that, I issued a press release as I indicated yesterday. It's available on the county website. Essentially, we indicated that we will not enforce the harmful provisions that bar school children from taking mask breaks, which we believe is something that is very important to our children. We continue to move forward with all of our vaccination efforts. Along those lines, I have the most recent information statistics available. As is customary, I will share them for the public. 7-day average positivity rate is 6.7%. I can tell you that the percentage of the population that has received at least one vaccine dose is now 82.4%. The percentage of the population that has completed the vaccine series is now 74.5%. The percentage of the population aged 12 and older that has received one vaccine dose is now 91% in the county, and the percentage of 18-year-olds with at least one vaccine dose is now 92%. Very good numbers, and that's the result of the hard work that is being performed by our public health staff. One of the things I want to point out that Saratoga County has done throughout this year is the county has been a leader across the state in fighting to slow the spread of COVID. Under the leadership of Dr. Cool, our public health commissioner, we have established many initiatives. First in the state, we were the first county to establish a high-risk sports program. We were first county in the state to vaccinate over 90% of our teachers. We're the first county in the state to provide in-home vaccinations to homebound individuals countywide. We also were the first county to establish a pilot test-to-state program, which is now used across New York State by other counties. And this is a program that we developed in conjunction, working in conjunction with the CDC to keep healthy children in school, learning where they should be. So lots of firsts there. Proud to be a part of that. And closer to home here, the numbers don't lie. Number of individuals that are aged 12 and older that have received all their doses is 83.5%. Those individuals 18 and older is 84.1%. The percentage of the population 65 and older that have received, that are fully vaccinated is now 93.5%. You look at the booster numbers, Saratoga County continues to lead in New York State and in the U.S. Percentage of individuals that have received their booster shots in Saratoga County is 34.5%. New York State, the average is 27.1%, and nationally it's 29.2%. The percentage of individuals aged 50 and older that have received a booster in Saratoga County is currently 62.3%. The state average is 38.9%, and the U.S. average is 40.7%. And finally, those individuals 65 and older, the percent of the population that has received a booster in Saratoga County is 66%. New York State average is 50.6%, and the U.S. average is 51.6%. We have new categories recently. We've got the age 5 to 11-year-olds that have received at least one dose, and that number is currently 35.8%. It's the second highest rate in New York State. And then those aged 12 to 17 that have received at least one dose is now 74%, which is the highest in New York State. So Saratoga County continues to be at the forefront of fighting this pandemic, and will continue to do so until we have beaten COVID-19 into submission. Item 3 I have on the agenda, we're not going to act on it tonight, we'll be acting on it in the new year. I think all the board members have proposals from our town for legal services, both special legal services and the town council. I just want to point out for the record, in relation to our in-house counsel, we're served by Bartlett, Pontus, Stewart, and Rhodes under the leadership of Carla Bittner. Our previous contracts from 2017 through 2021, they have kept their rates the same for all those years. In a nutshell, the rates for 2022 for a flat monthly fee will be increased from $3,000 to $3,500. The hourly rate will be increased for principals to $170. I believe the number has been $130.
For the 2022?
Says for here. Am I not reading the right sheet? My apologies, I was reading from the 2017 through 2021 periods of the contract, multi-year contracts. So moving forward for 2022, the proposed fee increase would be from $3,500 to $4,000, with the hourly rates being increased as follows: the principal from $170 per hour to $200, associates being billed at a rate of $150, Customary $180, which is an increase from $150, and then paralegals being billed at a rate of $100 from $80. Anything else included in that proposal I should point out?
No, everything else is the same.
All right. So just want the board to review that. Have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know. This will be something that will be taking up in 2022. And then for special counsel, this would be with Ryan Kinnery LLP of Albany. Proposed fees would be for consulting. If you look at Article 5 under fees, the partners would be billing the town at $235 per hour, associates at $170 per hour, as well as paralegals at $95 per hour. I have last year's contract with me, so I don't know what the change is. It is a slight increase. So if there's any questions on that, I can get that information to the board.
This is somewhere
I don't know that now. I have to find Item 4 on the agenda is the bingo license. And we have a request from the Monroe Community Center for the town to authorize their application to the New York State Gaming Commission for their, I believe it's a license to conduct their bingo games. And there has been a investigation done by, on behalf of the Monroe Community Center for the individuals that will be operating the games, that was conducted by Identico, which has done work for New York State, as well as the FBI, in doing electronic fingerprinting services, as well as other background review. And the review of the individuals that are named in the packet all came back satisfactory. I'm willing to sign if the board authorizes me to do so. We do have 10 questions to go through. I would have to answer if you want to act on it tonight.
Sure, I don't see any reason to know that tonight.
All right. So the first question is all the members designated in the application to conduct bingo are good moral character and have never been convicted of a crime. I'm willing to sign it based on the Identico review. The applicant is qualified to authorize organization as defined in the bingo licensing law. Yes or no? Presumably yes. All the members designated in the application to conduct games are bona fide active members of the applicant organization. Yes. Premises presently owned or occupied by applicant are in every respect adequate and suitable for conducting bingo games. Yes or no? I would say yes. Yes. The bingo games are to be conducted in accordance with the provisions of the bingo licensing law, the rules and regulations of the gaming commission, and local ordinances. Yes or no? Yes. The entire net proceeds are to be devoted to exclusively to one or more lawful purposes as defined in the bingo licensing law and the rules and regulations of the gaming commission. Yes or no?
Yes.
There is satisfactory proof that no commission salary compensation reward or recompense will be paid or given to any person for conducting the games or assisting therein, except to the extent authorized by the bingo licensing law and the rules and regulations of the gaming commission. Yes or no? Yes. There is satisfactory proof that the type and value of prizes offered and given will be in accordance with the provisions of the bingo licensing law. Yes or no? Yes. If applicable, the rent to be paid to the authorized bingo lesser is reasonable and does not exceed that established by the gaming commission. Yes or no? Other findings, if any, need to specify. I don't have any other findings. So I would need a motion authorizing me to sign the division of charitable gaming findings and determination for bingo licensing under the New York State Gaming Commission. Motion to approve. Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Grab the form from you and sign it.
Can you get a copy to
Yep.
my office?
Yep. So you're just signing on the bottom, I sign the bottom.
Yep. Item 5 I have on the agenda is the annex building lease agreement with the town expires at the end of this year, December 31st. I've asked council to review the proposed agreement just for the board's information. We had escalator clause in the previous agreement that took us from
the prior agreement was $12.50 a month, and then there was an escalator of $1,200 a year,
Yeah.
so it would have been $100 a month.
So, the current proposal, they'd like a flat rate for the period of January 1, 2022 through December 31st, 2024 of $1,450, which is 200 or 150 less than where we are now.
It's $200.
200 less than where we are now. We don't need to act on it tonight. We can act on it at the next board meeting. I didn't know if the board had thoughts on that, that I should relay to the organization, which is LifeWorks Action Community Action Incorporated, also known as Escrow.
Have we had any structural issues or anything we can deal with this property since they've been wrecking?
Not that it's been that been anywhere.
So they didn't come back, that's what I mean. Facility type maintenance bills or anything like that. Is it customary to go to have a less amount of money for an organization like this per month?
Well, I haven't had any conversations with them as to the reasoning behind why it would be less. I'm happy to have that conversation. But that hasn't taken place. And this is for the classroom space, which is a large room on the first floor, and a smaller room in the bathroom and the stage area. Also the kitchen on the first floor, bathroom facilities, and then the outdoor play space between the building and the solar array.
Carl, is this a typical lease agreement that you've seen before?
It's typical to the agreement you had with them 3 years ago.
Okay.
They just added a few different things, and I don't know. I don't know who added it or why it was added. I think you should at least speak to them about why they want to decrease in rent.
And they do have language in there that 6 months after the commencement of the lease term, the leaseor and LifeWorks shall determine if the monthly payment above is sufficient to cover actual costs. And in the event the payment is insufficient, the parties agree to renegotiate the monthly payment.
Yeah, so for rent and utilities.
I mean, that's right, because this is a legal, the utilities, right? Do we know if we stayed ahead of our utilities?
You also. We haven't lost one.
It looks like that works on that, the previous contract.
Right.
So I will reach out to them, just looking for direction. I mean, do you want to go to where we left off? Do you want to move forward with this, maybe at the next board meeting at the proposed rate with the 6 month review? I'm just looking for direction on how we go.
Yeah, I'd like to have a better understanding of why they're suggesting it to be less from the 5% of the problems. Terms of the agreement of it, you just understand. So.
Yes,
Can we win-win with the building?
Okay.
With that.
All right. So I'll reach out to them, report back to the board, and hopefully we'll have a plan of action at the next board meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, escalator was 1250, year one, 1350, 1450, 1550, 16. Item 6 on the agenda, we have a request. I think the board members were notified of this when it happened, the parking brake assembly for the 2016 John Deere system tractor. I imagine it's the lower one. It's a dealer item only, $3,500, and this will be purchased from Mad Ag and Turf Clifton Park, and the amount the purchase will be paid from account DB 5130.405, which has a current balance of $30,824.59 as of December 1st.
Is there a motion to that? So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Agenda number 7. Got a couple of recreation department requests. First one is to utilize funding in the budget for replacement of the spring rocket for the park's playground, and estimated cost for shipping of about $800 from AAA State of Play. Regulator indicates the site will replace a very popular playground piece that broke in 2021 and was not repairable. It was not budgeted for in 2022, but during budget workshops, the board indicated that this item could be purchased in 2021 if the money is available. He's also looking for the purchase of the 9 remaining disc golf baskets required to complete the 18-hole course. Estimated cost with shipping is $4,000 from disc cap. And these are budgeted in 2022 in the budget. And but there's funds available in the 2021 budget if we want to move money around. There's 2 questions. First question is if the board wants to do the purchase, yes or no. And prior to the purchase, we'll have to move funding $5,000 from account A7140.1 to account A7140.2 to make the purchase.
So we would have to move the funds to make the purchase. There's no.
Correct. So just for background, there's currently $21,498.42 in the Rec Park Fund A7140.1.
Okay. I know we discussed the piece, as you recall that, and I know a few of us looked up these, cost. I think we should replace it. I guess that means we probably just have to do the funds transfer as well.
Right.
Rec committee.
Well, I would, approve or, would I make a motion to move this money from A7140.1 amount of $5,000 into A7140.2 to make a purchase out of that account.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. So we've made the transfer, so now I can make the purchase.
So, does he need the board approval to purchase the spring rocker or just?
Well, I would do it all rolled in one motion since it's on the same request and it's $4,800 total. I think we have a single purchase of where you don't need board authority of 1,000.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so I roll it all in one.
So we're making a motion to approve the purchase of the replacement spring rocker for the park playground with an estimated cost of shipping of about $800 from AAA State of Play. And included in that, a motion to approve the purchase of 9 remaining disc golf baskets with an estimated cost of $4,000 from disc cap.
Second. Any discussion? Not all in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We could do it under committee reports, but we might as well do it since we're on the Rec, about the basketball program. Anybody want to speak to the email that the rec leader provided on December 10th? Regarding the basketball program?
Let's see here.
Because he's looking for feedback on that.
Yeah, I know we had a discussion on this already. We told them to go ahead with this. The concern, or some of our concern, was that the school doesn't want parents attending while kids are involved in the basketball program, which as late school ways on, we have a little more.
Sure, so I looked into that, actually with Peter and confirmed with Matt Reed, the AD. And I'd like to say, first of all, that Peter, Mr. Olszewski and Mr. Greek had a great conversation to get this thing up off the ground. And their working relationship is still very strong, which was nice to hear. More than anything, it's not about not allowing families to be in because, you know, for the sure, or for the reason of just not allowing them in. It's when there's an event at a school, the school has to have a certain number of employees working at all times, custodial staff, and there just isn't that coverage right now. So if coaches and children are in the building, there's still enough coverage in the buildings by school employees. If parents are starting to come in and other family members are starting to come in, it would require more hands-on deck provided by the school, and there just isn't personnel at this time to cover all of that. So that's why that is there. You know, the expectation is just between 120 and 150 basketball players are probably going to sign up for this. There may be some parents who are not happy with being not allowed to attend inside, but that's the way it has to be. If we're going to have this program, we're going to work together with the school nicely, and so we can provide this program for the community. It has to be this way. So I understand where it's coming from, and I support fully.
My only comment's the same as the last. I've got no problem supporting it either, as long as we have a complete transparency before parents sign up and register, that they have a clear understanding that these are the guidelines that are in place.
Right.
Because otherwise, and it's mostly my concern is around kindergarten. Right? You know, there's some parents that may not be comfortable having their kids in the program at that age. The other ages maybe not the same.
Right.
But that's my only caveat, is that position hasn't changed.
Right, and I would also mirror that concern with the little ones, kindergarten, first grade. So it may not be for everybody, is I guess this year, if that's what we're looking at. But it's the best way to get a basketball program off the ground this year.
Yeah, as long as it's stipulated within the application, parents have the opportunity to read it and have the understanding that that's not going to be a long time, and say we're pushing forward with it as well.
Okay.
I'll go with it.
No, we'll give them the directions
Okay.
to move forward.
And the last item I have is reservations are beginning to come in for pavilions for 2022. And the rec leader would like to increase fees for use of the pavilions and the fields at Beaver Park for next year. And he has some recommended changes which he has provided to all board members. What I'd like to do is refer this to the rec committee for a recommendation so that we may take it up at our next meeting.
Okay.
That works for everyone.
That's fine.
All right.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
All right. Water department, a couple items there. A while back, we had authorized the purchase of a trailer for, I think for around to mow hydrants.
Yeah.
And in talking with our contracted necessary to expend those funds for that purpose. So I wanted to make the board aware of it, see where you want to go with it at this time, if you want to table it for now until we add to the department, or take out. I think the issue is the cost of the trailer that we approved is no longer available for that cost, and it's actually higher than some of the other vendors, so my recommendation would be if you want to act on it, we should probably get 3 current quotes before we do act on it. So just wanted to make the board aware of that.
I think the water committee can take it forward a little bit further. I think the rest of the story, though, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the individuals managing our water department now has a legal period. It would not be our responsibility to mow the pipe. So that's sort of the other reason, right? So I think we just have to, as a board, have a consensus that could be all as a position one.
I don't think this mower that they use for the hydrants, I think it's doing grounds around water towers.
So a combination.
Yeah, but, you know, there's 2 water towers that they actually pay for, one's already, close to paying them, so they don't have to be concerned about that. But, yeah, I do understand what you're saying, and I'm holding on.
Water committee will take it.
Okay, sounds good. The other item is we discussed that last board meeting. Oh, it's a new one. It's a refund for a water tap. So previously, a water tap fee was made and paid in full by Michael Bishar Enterprises for John K. Road, and I believe that as we have been doing our contractors, independent contractors, are doing tap fees. And so he's looking for the amount that we've been refunding other individuals who have done the same thing under the new current policy with our water department. So the motion would be to refund the water tap in the amount of $1,175 to Bishar Enterprises LLC.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just to be clear, he's going to take care of it on his own. That's somebody.
So I'm assuming that they will then contact our,
So we have to provide oversight.
right,
That, yes.
okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And actually, I have a question for counsel. We are a prospective employee. We do the required medical, physical background check. There's a expense incurred by the town. They accept the position. But they don't get employed through their own choice. Do we have any recourse in the cost of the town?
I thought we had dealt with this before.
So we did. So we have a policy that if you remember how it is
I
now.
thought we had them pay it back.
Yeah, if they were an employee and they worked for the town and then left for a certain period.
That was for the training.
For training.
I thought we had a policy.
I thought we had a policy. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know there was.
Well, I guess the question is the employee never officially worked for a town even though he was hired.
Check your papers, you might have the policy in your papers right now.
So we have resolution 52 of I imagine it was last year's organizational meeting. Specifying that a prospective town employee who fails to appear at a pre-employment fidelis shall be subject to a deduction of such costs associated with the exam from their compensation as town employee. So he appeared at it. We paid for it. He just appeared for employment.
I don't know if you can have him pay, I don't know if you can make him pay for that then. I mean, he got the physical, he just chose not to work it. I don't think you can make him, I'll look into it, supervisor, but I don't think you can make him.
Would that be almost similar to someone being hired, going to physical and then being deemed not hireable, and they still can't come to work, and we have stuff to pay for it.
Right.
So
So it's $120.
I will look, but I think that you have to keep that. I know it's not the answer.
So I'll look for direction from council on review. Also, in the water department, received a correspondence from the town of Queensbury, water department. This is December 26th. I'm sorry, November 26th. Received in my office December 1st. Says, dear Mr. Kuzners, encloses a copy of the calculation for budgeted water production costs for the year 2022. This year's rate is $1.27 per 1,000 gallons, which equates to $1.22 per 1,000 plus 5-cent transmission cost. Last year's agreement was a total of $1.17 per 1,000 gallons. In addition to the normal increase for payroll costs, the department is anticipating a fairly significant increase in chemical and electrical costs. There's also had to carry an additional individual for the all-important position of instrument technician in order to plan for retirement. 2 additional variable turbine motors were purchased as backups. Those were purchased through the 2021 operations and maintenance budget and are reflected in the 2022 budget. So their costs are being passed on as costs to us, so we'll need to provide that information to town engineer and make sure that we are taking into consideration our increased costs and the rates that we're working to establish in the year. All right, item 10. Oh, I skipped item 9, transfer station. So we have a question from transfer station staff regarding how to handle the holiday. The question is, obviously, Christmas Day, we are closed, town holiday. Question is, are we going to be closed on Christmas Eve, which is what day? Friday of this year. That is not a town holiday for non-union employees. However, it is a town holiday by contract with the Csa employees. So, what would like to do?
have they indicated that they want day, or they are just asking?
Just asking whether we're going to be open or closed.
So no one's, it's not vacation time necessarily for anybody.
No, it would be,
So there's be no hours.
Are they asking because the town hall is closed on Friday?
yes, we're closed.
And that's why they're asking, because they follow the same schedule that we have.
Yeah, so the way our holidays fall, because it's on Christmas on Saturday, we're closed on a Friday. If it fell on a Sunday, we would be closed Monday. So the question is, because town hall is closed, is the transfer station open or closed?
Crazy question, are banks open on the Christmas Eve? Yeah, I think they are.
It's not a federal holiday.
No,
So we wouldn't have a problem with the deposit, right?
Is the rec department open or closed?
Well, that's so,
I'm
Depending on-
assuming on the 24th, they would open. Same with the transfer station.
I don't think it's been our practice in the past that those two entities serving the public have remained open on that particular holiday.
Neither have indicated that they want the day, they're just asking.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah.
So we want to remain open.
So we're remaining open. I mean, the public is, most of the public at that point is probably starting a couple day holiday break, but it's the weekend, so it's really, this Christmas this year really gets you. Doesn't really, time here or there.
So we will share with them that board wants to remain.
Yeah, if there's a thought they want time. I mean, I'm open to like half day schedule, we're not, no one really asked for that, so just wait and see.
I think, I have closed, closed early, historically, on Christmas. So if I do it here, we can do it there. That's fine.
You're not
Close,
here
right?
anyway. You're not here.
You're
No,
right.
yeah, so
That's not gonna work.
that'll work, shoot. So you want to.
Yeah, my thought is yes.
Okay.
Open.
And
I'll probably work with that, right?
this item, agenda item 9. Now we're on to agenda item 10, building department, got a couple items. First one is the escrow for Jacobi Farms project. We have received an estimate from the town engineer, LaBerge Group, indicating that we're going to send the town board has received a map plan report and a petition to create a water district for Jacobi Farm subdivision. And they estimate that an escrow of $2,500 is required for their office to review the map plan report, as well as plans and specifications for any drinking water distribution elements that may be conveyed to the town. So I would need authorization to establish the escrow account in the amount of $2,500 for the engineer. Any discussion?
That was my battery.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Also with that project requires legal review. And so we have from special counsel on that, Bill Ryan, from Davin Ryan, Henry LLP. And he has indicated to us that the escrow amount would be a maximum of $15,000 for Jacobi's Farm. So I would need a motion to establish an escrow for legal fees, an amount not to exceed $15,000.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. One more item for building department. So we received a request, and we're not going to act that tonight, but I want to bring the board up to speed. From a property owner that has a dispute with relatives of neighboring properties, and is looking for the town to sell a paper highway and the development on McElroy Way. And I have asked our zoning administrator to review the background. This development was created in 2003. It's part of Palmerton Heights subdivision. And so the property owner owns these 50 acres here. These are owned by relatives, which they don't get along. And so they're asking for the town to sell this paper highway into this parcel. I just received some information today, I need to review it from, the planning board minutes of October 20th, 2003, that talked about, the creation of that paper road, and that was done. And one of the things I highlighted in here says, as far as access to Route 9, we have tried to pick up land so that it could have an access to Route 9. The developer has approached landowners along Route 9, there's no land available, so an access way is shown to the adjacent properties, which would become a roadway should access be granted to this property. So, while I'm inclined not to sell it at this time, I'd like to see what the zoning district.
This is a parcel.
Yeah, well, this is the
This
town,
right now.
so the town owns this.
Yeah, but isn't this Route 9?
Yes. What was it? I don't know. Probably old.
Because this is Grand, so that's Route 9. So this is the back side of the corridor, so this is Route 9, and then this is, all right.
There's grants.
So there's, yeah, that's Route 9. So these people are saying they want to buy this to maybe never have access.
Well,
to Route 9.
the bottom line is, there's utilities in here, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper to run them in here than to run them in Route 9. But I can tell you that, the neighbors in here probably wouldn't be happy with the town if we turn it into, if we sold it for a driveway into this parcel. But it
So
could
then become a,
yes.
so,
So my suggestion is, get more information from, before I report back to the landlord, from our zoning administrator. And then we can report back.
we make that decision here for this.
Yeah, it requires a board decision. As to
But I don't know anything about this, since I heard of it. Can I get copies of all of that? Because if the town owns a paper street, there may be a different procedure the town has to go through to abandon that paper street and sell it to whoever you want to sell it to.
Well, the other question is, I need to verify whether the town in fact owns.
Right, it's not just as easy as a board resolution you can sell it. It's a process.
Right. So, you know, we have to track all that down.
Okay.
But I wanted to bring it before.
And it may be that the town doesn't want to sell.
So the note is from the, one of the owners is they'd like to purchase a portion of town property, see the map to gain access to family property and build a home.
Okay.
So there you have it. So I will report back when I have additional information at the next board meeting. All right, that takes us on to agenda item number 11. I have listed as Cannabis Regulation. And as the board is aware, there is a deadline looming of December 31st, 2021. If the town wishes to opt out, obviously, if we want to opt out, we have to do that by local law. It has to be as is required. Public hearing for the local law, and we do have some draft language here. My concern is that because the agency that is charged with overseeing cannabis in New York State has not been established, nor have the rules and regulations obviously been adopted, we don't have a lot of direction. And I think one of the ways that we can preserve our abilities for any kind of regulation is to ensure that we opt out until we have more information. So I don't know what the board's thought is on that.
I will concur.
So,
Thank you.
That's all I have to say.
You want to talk in greater detail on that?
If I could, Supervisor, so, the board is correct, and under the cannabis law, the town board has to have a local law adopted to opt out. It is an opt out, not of, allowing marijuana in the town of Monroe. It's an opt out only of retail dispensaries and or on-site consumption. You can opt out of both, allowing both. You can opt out of allowing one or opt out of allowing the other. So you have before you 3 different local laws for you to look at. One outside of both, and one outside of on-site consumption, and one outside of retail. It would be just like a regular local law. I've already checked with the county. The county is not looking at these, the county planning, so we don't have to worry about that. We can have a public hearing on this next week. I talked to Leanne a little bit today. I was thinking for efficiency of having it the same night as your moratorium one, but we can't because of the way the co-stars, we had to get the notice to them by 5 today to have it on 21st. So you can have it on 22nd if you wanted to. And then you have to just adopt it by the 31st. You no longer have to hold your referendum. This is subject to a permissive referendum, which means, as this board is well aware of what referendums are, if there is a petition within 45 days, not 30, but within 45 days, and the petition wants you to go forward for a referendum, then you do that. You would not do that until the next general election, which will be November. Unless the petition says, and we want you to adopt another local law that says you can have it sooner. Or as this board did with the sewer district, you can create, you can do it on your own motion. So what you have before you is the opt-out provisions. This law is a little bit odd because you can always opt back in. If you don't opt out by the 31st, you don't have the right to opt out. If you opt out, you don't have the right to any of the tax dollars until you opt back in. So that's kind of, and while the cannabis, the control board has been formed, and I think there's people on it, there are no regulations as of yet. And many municipalities are opting out for the same reasons that you said, just because of the unknown, and that come February, you can always opt back in.
Well, I think the opt-out group gives the town the greatest flexibility to do what we want without being pigeonholed in by taking no action, and we have no control over anything we want to do moving forward after December 31st.
One of the other things that you are allowed to do after, once you do this opt-out is you would look at your zoning for regulating. If you opt back in, you look at your zoning for regulating when and where to put the dispensary or the on-site consumption sites. But right now, I would just like you to discuss and ascertain which one of the 3 drafts you would like to go forward with, so we can present that to the public and decide what date you want to have it, the public hearing, and then we can get that set. But it can't be before the 22nd.
Yeah, we can talk about the date on there. We do have to set public hearings for the contract for the fire company and rural emergency squad.
Right. So you don't do a military expedition.
Yeah. So maybe we can have them all on the same. We haven't set them yet.
We haven't set them yet.
Yeah, so
I don't know if we can have those next week.
the 27th.
Wasn't there a special thing we used to do with the fire company? We used to have those later on, but we can do that in 5 days.
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not positive. I would have to.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is 5. I think everything is 5 days. That's up to the board.
So do you want first of all set the public hearing for all 3, or do you want to figure out which route you want to go?
We can both find it.
Yes.
So whatever work we take.
All right, so the options are the 3 different options that we have. One would be the local opt-out of allowing cannabis retail dispensaries and on-site cannabis consumption sites in the town of Monroe that would otherwise be allowed under the Marijuana Regulation and Taxation Act. Specifically, town board would opt out of allowing cannabis retail dispensaries and on-site cannabis consumption sites from being established and operated within the town's jurisdiction. That's option 1. So both of these have the same thing.
They are the same, one of them is, one is for both, you opt out of both, on-site.
Yeah.
There's 3 laws you have in front of you.
Yeah.
One opts out of both,
All right.
one opts out of on-site only, one opts out of retail.
So the one with the greatest option is opting out.
Yes.
Correct.
Giving us the flexibility to opt back in.
Yeah.
That's.
Correct, but I wanted to present all 3 options.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So,
Yeah, I mean, if I could just share my thoughts too at the current time, I have been voted 2 times supporting dispensaries and the sale of marijuana in the town of Monroe. And I still support that idea, but considering that we don't have as much information as I thought would be presented by the governing body, at this, and I don't think it's, I think we should keep our options open and be as flexible as we can in the future. I think at this current time, I would support opting out of both the retail dispensaries and on-site consumption. I still would think that down the road, we can absolutely figure out how and where retail dispensaries can fit in town Monroe, but considering that the governing body that's supposed to send us the guidelines is lacking in that, I'm not comfortable moving forward. So I would also right now say I'd like to opt out of both.
Yeah, I've already gone on record very similar, they're the same as Councilman. So I'm in the same position. Long term, I can also believe retail dispensaries is something that I would be in favor of. Let's work through that. Option 1 for tonight.
You guys have said it all.
all right, so let's take a look at for setting the public hearing. The earliest it could be is the 22nd. No, we're getting close to the holidays, which I hate to do.
Whatever we can get done as soon as possible. So I get if you guys let us in December with the holidays and family and visits and everything else.
Yeah.
I will guarantee my.
So
Feel
before
that
For the 24th at 8 o'clock.
I'm working the 24th.
So 22nd.
They all work.
22nd.
Oh, you said that one more for you.
So it doesn't.
John?
I can make it a 22nd.
20 seconds, fine.
All right, so we've got, what time is it? We'll go backwards into the emergency squad. All right,
5:30 on for me.
all right, so we'll do 5:30, we'll do, Monroe emergency squad. 5:35, we'll do Southland Falls Fire Company. And how about 5:45? The public hearing on the local law number proposal. So that will require a motion to establish those public hearings.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
And I have a notice of public hearing for you on
Thank you. Can I just ask a quick question? So will they act on that local law after the public hearing that night?
you will have to, you'll have to set it in a special meeting this year. If you have a public hearing, you'll have to open a special meeting to adopt the law.
So then we will have the special, I don't know how much public. But there'll be, you want to do the regular or a special board meeting for 6 p.m.?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, so that would require a motion to establish a special meeting for the purpose of would be review and potential adoption of local law number 8.
Correct.
Someone,
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Let's see. Supervisor, just a couple of things. We received correspondence from the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. They have enclosed dog control officer's inspection report that was completed November 30th. As the report indicates, dog control officer services were rated satisfactory. And I have a copy of their review if anybody wants it in my office. And there's 11 items that they check. Also received confirmation from the New York State Department of State that local law number 5 has been filed on November 18, 2021, so it's now in full force in effect. That's the local law that established the senior citizen real property tax exemption sliding scale increase that we all supported. Received correspondence from Assembly Member Werner. Dear Todd, I'm writing to let you know about a new state program announced by Governor Hochul last week that will make grants to municipal applicants to upgrade housing for farm workers in order to prepare for, or respond to coronavirus. Municipalities may request up to $1 million to support rehabilitation of existing housing to improve farm worker safety. Funds can be applied to more than one farm. The factors that connect the expenditure of funds to the coronavirus appear to be broad. See page 6 item for the application. I enclose a FAQ sheet produced by New York State Homes and Community Renewal, the agency that will be administering this distribution of federal funding. The application is available on the website. Also, information is listed. You may also be aware of a loan program permitting agricultural producers, aka farmers, to apply for a low-cost loan to improve existing housing or construct new housing for farm workers, whether seasonal or year-round. This program is also administered by HCR and can provide loans of up to $200,000 annually. I urge you to take advantage of this grant opportunity, which will obviously benefit the workers who keep farms running and will also lift some of the burden from farmers. My office is happy to assist with this process, including providing a letter of support. Sincerely yours, Carrie. So I have that information in my office as well. And lastly, on the supervisor items, I received a notification from Carly Cahill, who is with Saratoga County Office for the Aging, saying that they're desperate need for volunteer drivers for the home delivered meals program in the Wilton Monroe area. Those interested in delivering in the Wilton area do receive mileage reimbursement. Meals are picked up at 11 a.m. at the Monroe Community Center and delivered between the hours of 11 a.m. through 1 p.m. Monday through Friday. If you're interested in volunteering, please call 518-363-4020 and ask for Carly, the home delivered meals volunteer coordinator. So I'll ask Lisa to put that up on our website. Oh, it is on our website. Never mind, it's over there. Committee reports. I don't think I have anything at this time. Does anyone
Well,
else?
snow is in ground.
Yes.
Generator still not working. I'm under the impression that CAT has provided a little more information to highway department mechanics to fix, but I don't know where we're at with that. And I keep going to tell again today. I know Peter's been in contact with Paul, but they don't know,
So they don't know what's wrong with it, or?
what I got was that the last time we talked was that Cat gave an estimate and evaluation on what was wrong.
That was.
Highway came over and said that can't be, and Then Cat came back and gave them some further information and, well, we generated that number there. You know, the weather that we're getting into, we probably should have that out. I don't know, it's not operable at this point. So I don't know if we go ahead and get, put pressure on highway to try to go over and fix it, or we get Cat here.
Well, I think we gotta get the right diagnosis from CAT. And it may be something we can do in-house, maybe not, and we get CAT in here to fix it. But they have to tell us what the issue is definitively. I'm not confident with it.
Okay. No, because I haven't dealt with a problem with them where I've seen anything right now.
Have my office.
The
Just so
other,
I'm clear, we're still trying to get CAT to tell us what's wrong, so we can not hire them to do it, so we can let
Well,
ourselves.
we may have to hire them if highway doesn't have the expertise to take care of whatever's wrong with it. But we haven't got an accurate diagnosis.
So if you were CAT and you were not in a contractual agreement, you want them to perform professional services, so we can hire somebody else to do the
Well,
work.
we have a contract for annual maintenance, so they do benefit from it. But, yeah, I understand.
I also think that ain't no maintenance, I think they should be coming back there in January, early January to do that.
Right.
But, don't really know if we want to wait that long to have this repaired.
See, if we get about.
And then, so the, fire alarm, I think has been upgraded here in this building, so that's up and running. And working the way it should be, fortunately, the place that for it.
Awesome.
I think that's all I want to touch base on. That's all about.
Very, very quick question, if we don't need a public hearing on civic center, will we address this before the end of the year, or is that during organizational contract?
So I believe we have a resolution and we have a position meeting that allows me to sign it.
Okay.
So I think we're good to go on.
Yes.
Okay.
The other committee first.
Not much of a committee report now, and I have to get our heads together and hammer out some of these water department labor spots to see where we move on with that. So we gotta do that, continue with that. I got a question for highway. I don't know if it's something you can bring back to Paul. I can call him too. Someone who lives down one of those riverside neighborhoods, Iris, or whoever, who was asking about the amount of salt dumped on the roads, and if there's a way to cut it. And in the neighborhoods that are closer to the river, because the drainage does actually go right down into the river, and was curious to know if the assumption is yes, we're within limits here for what we're dumping, but is it necessary to dump as much salt on some of these roads when we have some of the salt, like this little snow we've had so far? This resident's concern was it seemed a bit excessive, the amount of salt, just because of how close we are to the river and other natural resources down there.
So I know, obviously salt is way more expensive than sand. I know they mix it, depending on what type of conditions there are. But that's his call. So.
Right, I'll just touch base with Paul on that, and then again, I don't know if it's a committee report, but I had a neighbor or a resident reach out on Tanglewood Drive, or a parent, I guess, and they were curious about another crosswalk at the end of the Tanglewood walkway that goes across to whatever the lane goes straight across where we put the crossing guard. I don't know if it's Elmwood or Oakwood, I believe it's Oakwood. The thought was it'd be safer to have another crosswalk for the kids and the families to get onto that side. And the times when there's no crossing guard, maybe some motorists will see crosswalk and stop if there's a child trying to cross that crosswalk. So something else I'll talk about, but I just want to put it out there.
I know on county roads, when we've had those requests, counties have been very responsive.
We've been good about it. Last year we put in two, I think one right at, Merritt Road and Peter Dam, kind of right there, and then we did another one at the school's request from where the field, track and field corner fences over to Tanglewood, because they're now utilizing fields at Tanglewood for track and field events. So they did have that, they put, Paul approved that last year, so I'll talk to him and see if it's something that we can look into and take care of. So, good.
And, the other committee reports, I just want to update the board. We did have our first meeting, for Csa Negotiations this week. And we will be meeting again, on a follow-up meeting, December 29th, at 10 a.m. So we exchanged our positions, we're reviewing theirs, and I'll report back to the board.
I think the supervisor's office sent over the agreement with clarification on the term, you know.
Yes, Larry spoke about that.
So there we are. Any other? Not, I don't need an executive session.
No, I have a question though. Your question made me think of this, that we set you set the public hearing for the cannabis law, and then you set a special meeting thereafter. Do we have a special meeting set after the moratorium public hearing as well?
We do, next week,
Yes,
we do.
so it's set as a public hearing and then a special meeting.
Looking at the calendar, it says it over there.
Special town board meeting 6 p.m. on 21st.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we're set on that.
Yes. So we're down there.
I don't have my calendar here in front of me, not the printed calendar.
We have a special meeting, town board following the public hearing.
Okay, perfect. Wanted to make sure.
All right. Any other business? If not, any member of the public wish to be heard? Under privilege of the floor. Go ahead. Please state your name and address for the record.
Bridget Martin, Village of South Glens Falls. I'm a little disappointed that you guys waited so long to hold the meeting, doing it at 5:45, ramming this law in at the end of the year. I came to you, I think it was either last year or the year before, and asked you guys to hold public hearings about this. And now you're blaming it on the state. It seems like you're just, defaulting to that. I'm glad you are having a public hearing. I don't know if people can make it a couple of days before Christmas. If any businessman is investing in this, I know there's a grower, Toe Flags. I don't know if he's planning on having a retail location, but there's a lot of business people who apply for applications and have money tied up in starting businesses. And I think it's kind of really short notice and kind of not cool to do. That's one thing I have to say. But I understand your point of view that the state hasn't given enough regulations, but you guys have had no discussion. And you do have till the end of the year, so leave this to last 2 weeks to decide you're gonna opt out. Not cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good Christmas.
Any other member of the public wish to be heard? If not, entertain a motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Stuart.
Yes. So I'll see you. Have a good Christmas.
I'll see you guys next week. Okay. So, anything to review? Anything to review?